If a rising economy helps create a more confident business sector, it also provides it with an opportunity to evaluate its circumstances in changing times. And so when the PRII Conference 2015 chose to look at PR as a leadership and strategic business function, a full house was guaranteed. And with Matt Cooper presiding over affairs, the onstage and offstage interaction was going to be lively.
With Minister Varadkar sharing his insights on the voracious demands of the 24/7 news cycle, the conference first heard from its keynote speaker, Gregory, Professor of Communication at University of Huddersfield, whose address illustrated the challenge facing organisations and the wider society.
We know there's a big crisis in trust in leaders. World Economic Forum, Edelman Trust Barometer says that leaders are way down in the trust of everybody. And that's leaders in government, in business, the media, NGOs. Trust is rock bottom because leaders are seen to be self-interested, short-term. And so what I was talking about today was trying to get a new type of leadership. And I think it has communications at its heart.
Corroborating this perspective, PRII President Jacqueline Hall detailed the opportunity for PR professionals.
Well, the message is quite clear that PR communications professionals should be at the top table. They should be involved in all elements of business and public life. For decades, accountants and lawyers have dominated, the main decision making, and communications professionals have a really important role to play in that as well.
But it is the immediacy of communication that may provide practitioners with the greatest challenge to be strategic.
And also, we find that, particularly with social media and the demands of the media 24/7, they're incessant and insistent all the time. And therefore, maybe more than for any other profession, if you think about accountancy, if you think about the law, there's time built into their decision making. There isn't in ours. All the research shows that actually for comms people, it's very difficult for them to be able to sort of offshore a lot of the technical communications activities, either to managers who should be trained in doing basic communication work. And I don't mean just interpersonal communication, but they should be able to talk to the media with proper training. They don't need somebody to gatekeep them if they're properly trained. So we're not very good about offshoring things. We hold comms jobs to ourselves, so we don't create time for ourselves to do the more strategic thing.
Meanwhile, Aoife Clarke of Lidl discussed the significance of PR for the international grocer. And while thinking global and acting local has helped build its brand in each of its 38 markets, PR is seen as a fundamental function for the organisation.
I report directly to the managing director, so that's where the emphasis or where the importance has been placed in Lidl. The international head of PR also reports directly to the CEO of the international board, so there's very much a direct line of communication there. So that means that we're involved at a strategic level, I suppose. We're brought in quite early on projects, and asked for our opinion and our expertise. So it's great that we actually get to control and work on the strategic side of things.
While underscoring the traditional nature of PR, Stephen Waddington of Ketchum emphasised the tools and the technology that is now available to PR practitioners, not only to assist their endeavours, but to calibrate their impact.
So I think the essence of good storytelling and relationships are as important as they have been. You've got to be able to be a good communicator, have good personal skills, so be able to relate to people and have a conversation. But then we're also bringing in a lot of science and data into what we do now. It's so much more sophisticated, but it's enabling us to be tools, such as you described, enabling us to do much better job, be far more effective, and actually measure the value we're bringing to organisations.
But if opinions differed regarding the themes presented, opinion regarding the conference itself was a lot more uniform.
Today has been brilliant, I have to say.
Delighted. It's been a fantastic conference.
The range of speakers, from ministers to people from the UK to professors, it's just been really interesting.
We've had people who are involved in business, who are involved in senior boards.
As a team, we all came together, and there's just loads of stuff I think that we can take away and, add it to our own benefit.
With lively panel discussions, hearty interaction and incisive case studies, this year's PRII conference has shown the industry to be a dynamic one. And with hot topics hotly debated, the themes for this year's conference are set to run and run. This is Barry Keane at the PRII Conference 2015 here in Dublin.